You asked for it, and here it is, episode 2 of Fixing Velma. This episode is going to be a little slow as I'm setting up for the bigger events, because my number one goal is to give you guys a good story, and that's why I'm taking my time. I don't want to rush or force the story, so please be patient with me. With that said, I feel like you guys are going to ask me about the second season of the Velma show. If you watched my first Fixing Velma video, you know that I didn't finish the first season, and I have no desire to watch the second. I am aware of what happens in the second season. I watched a bunch of reviews about it, and I can't help but get the feeling that ending with Velma dying was somehow a F you to the audience. Similar to the ending of the She-Hulk series. When I learned of that ending, I couldn't help but get the feeling that the writers were purposely giving the audience the middle finger. I don't know why they did that or what they had to gain by doing that. As for Mindy Kaling, I can kinda see her perspective if that was her intention. People were shitting on her for her adaptation, and the ending was probably her way of clapping back, if that even is the case. Which I still don't agree with. For one thing, it's not professional, and secondly, if she did self-destruct the show just because people didn't like it, then that's a telling sign, to me at least, that the objective was never to tell a engaging story. I did not mean to ramble like that, but this show just infuriates me. But you guys did not come here to hear my opinion about that. With all that out of the way, let's continue with the story. Please enjoy. Sam drops Velma off at her house. Inside, she finds her dad got home before her. Hey Velma, I got takeout from your favorite place. Where did you get that? From the university. Wait, did you know they had this? They asked me if I wanted it, but I declined. Why would you do that? Because, Velma, you were already upset about them bringing in a new professor to take your mother's place. I thought having that box in the house would only make things worse. He asked Velma to let it go so it doesn't sour their first night together. Velma agrees, but the tension is still there. Normally after eating they would spend time talking and catching up, but due to the tension, they go their separate ways for the night. After taking a shower, Velma looks through the file, but gets a phone call. Hey Dav, what's up? We're having some difficulty with this one. Fred didn't want to bother you, but we're a bit stumped. Sure, no problem. I could use a distraction. Is everything alright? Some old stuff from the past is resurfacing, and it's bringing up some painful memories. Do you want us to come down there? No, it's fine, but I might need to stay a little longer. Is that alright? Of course, Velma. You stay as long as you need to. We'll be fine. The two talk for over an hour before calling it a night. One of my main goals when it comes to this rewrite is to showcase how the disappearance of Velma's mother affected the family and the unresolved issues that are lingering beneath the surface. That's all I want to talk about when it comes to Velma's father, so let's go ahead and address Daphne. Throughout the years, I appreciate that Daphne and Velma's relationship was always kept cordial. From my memories, I can't recall there ever being a rivalry between them, but my exposure of Scooby-Doo was always through the movie, so I don't know if any of the shows ever portrayed a rivalry between them. You guys let me know if that ever was the case. Regardless, I wanted to uphold that portrayal of them. If anything, I wanted to show a little more of their friendship and how, because they're the only two girls in the group, they probably struck up a stronger bond. That's why Daphne's not afraid to call Velma, because they have that kind of friendship. Velma's father makes her favorite breakfast, French toast, for the two of them. Velma, I made reservations at the Blue Lobster tonight at 8. That's awfully fancy. What's the occasion? A lot has changed since you were last here, and a lot of things are about to change. Does it have to do with your job? Kinda, but we'll talk about it at dinner tonight. Velma could tell something was up, and her father knew it. That's why he learned not to say much of anything until the time was right. She's too perceptive. He leaves for work, and once Velma finishes the rest of her breakfast, she looks over the file. It doesn't tell her much since it's just a test result. If she wants to know more, she'll have to get her hands on the original file. She contacts the lab that her test results came from. However, due to their confidentiality policy, they can't tell her anything over the phone. Instead, she'll have to go there in person and show her ID. She calls Sam and tells him about the call. That's wild, Velma. What is it you think they found? They gave me a list of things found in my blood test, but most of it looks normal. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. If your mom thought there was something wrong, she would have taken you to the doctor. You're right, but all this seems too coincidental. The date on the file is only a week apart from when my mom disappeared. What does your dad think about all this? I haven't told him. He didn't want the box when the school tried to give it to him. I honestly feel like I can't trust him with this. Velma, you know your dad loves you, right? And that he wouldn't do anything unless he thought it was what was best for you? I know, but this is the first real clue that's surfaced since my mom disappeared, and I can't risk anyone or anything getting in my way, and that includes my dad, at least for right now. Sam doesn't agree with keeping her dad in the dark, but he's never seen Velma like this since her mother's disappearance, someone desperate for answers. Making their way to the lab, he notices that Velma's checking her phone frequently. He chooses not to ask, since she already seems anxious. They arrive at the lab, and Velma wastes no time filling out the paperwork. When finished, she turns it in and requests a file. She gives them the number of the old file. The receptionist looks it up. "I'm sorry, but that file is not available to be checked out." "What? Why not?" "It appeared that the file was moved from our upstairs room to our basement storage units." "But you still have it. Why isn't it in the computer?" "We're a small lab, so our digital storage is very limited. That's why we have a 3-year policy on how long we can hold on to the digital file." "Is there any way to get our hands on that file?" "You've already submitted the request, so basically it's just a waiting game after that. It can take a few days or even weeks, considering that the file is over 10 years old." The receptionist informs Velma that she'll give her a call once the file has been retrieved. The two leave feeling defeated. "I know you didn't get the results you wanted, but at least you're making progress. I guess that's one way to look at it." "I know, let's stop at that expensive bakery and get a slice of cake, since that's all we can afford from there." "Might as well. I'll never make it back home by 8 anyways." "Did you have plans?" "My dad made reservations at the Blue Lobster. He said he wanted to tell me something, and I know he's gonna be really mad when I don't show up." "What the hell, Velma? Why did you leave if you had plans with your dad?" "I thought I could get back in time, but this is more important anyways." "Tell that to your dad. But when you do, leave me out of it." Nothing else was said as Sam drove them back home.
Scooby-doo, where are you? We need some help from you now.
Again, let's address the father first. There's really not much I can say without giving something away. With the next episode, we will be diving deeper into his character, so until then, I'll just leave it at this. His motives will be revealed in the next episode, and it's heartbreaking. As for the file, again, there's not much I can really say, since it won't be relevant for the next few episodes, but once Velma gets that phone call, it will kick things off. Until then, please be patient. That is it for this episode. I know this was short and felt very uneventful, but trust me, the pace will pick back up, and I will do my best to upload these videos more frequently. In the meantime, tell me what you think and let me know your guesses. I like talking to you guys. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.